Hey everybody, I'm out visiting my dealership in Beverly Hills, Marshall Goldman. I want to take a car out that I haven't driven before, and I thought, what a better way to enjoy the California weather. It's like 65 degrees and sunny, so I took out this brand new, almost new, 1,300 mile Ferrari Roma Spider. Now this Ferrari Roma is in green jewel, which is a really, really wild metallic green. And as you can see, we got 4 seats in here, but it's kind of similar to a Porsche Turbo S. Not much room in there. If you put the seats all the way up, I guess you could fit some people in there. There's also a really cool wind deflector. This pops up to reduce the wind when you have the top down. If you want to put some in the back, there's a handle here you lift up and automatically electrically moves the seat forward. I'll see if I can get in here. I guess with the top down, it's not too easy, not too difficult to get in. I imagine with the top up, this could get pretty difficult. It's crushing my legs right now. Yeah, this is a tough situation to be in the back seat of this car. Now along the back, you see we got the quad exhaust tips. This is powered by a 3.9 liter V8 making 612 horsepower and a lot of torque. I gotta say, this car likes to spin the tires. I'm on the rear here, we got Bridgestone Potenza tires, 285s in the back, so over 600 horsepower. I don't know, I think we should have a bigger tire in here. I think this car's gonna spin quite a bit. Along the front, we have a full colored in grille. We got the parking sensors in there. And it also has, this car also has some ADAS systems as well for radars, cruise control, lane keep assist. Let's check out the rear and see what kind of storage we got back. I'm imagining not much, given how tiny this trunk is. So yeah, not a lot of storage in here, but it does look like with the top up you get a little more, and it looks like the seats fold down as well. But you got just enough space to fit your car cover and battery charger in here. Underneath the hood here, we have a 3.9 liter twin turbocharged V8 making just over 600 horsepower and a bunch of torque from those turbochargers. To start it up, you got the start here, you press it there, you got the V8. Putting the top down takes just 13.5 seconds, and you can do it while driving up to 37 miles an hour. This is a new soft top roof, Ferrari's first front engine Spider since the 1969 365 GTS4 Daytona. This is not to be confused with a hardtop convertible like the Portofino. To the interior, here's how you open and close the door. We got little buttons right there that open up. It has memory seats right there. You can also open the trunk from there. Interior wise, kind of similar and reminiscent to my SF90 on this side, although it's very nice to have a center console touchscreen over here, which we'll go over in a little bit. Down here, you still have some of the capacitive touch items to adjust your mirror, your parking sensors and lights. You got air vents here. Onto the steering wheel, you got your Manantino switch where you got wet, comfort, sport, race. And then again, you have these, capacitive touches, which I think they're going to buttons later on in future Ferrari models, which would be a welcome addition. We got a lot of driver's assistance features. It's got blind spot monitoring, which alerts you can put the signal on. It's got lane assist control and some other cruise control options as well. There's the cruise control. There's your voice activation, where it's like, hey Ferrari or something like that. And then this is very similar to the SF90. Now onto the center screen here, it's got Apple CarPlay. Inside here we have 2 USB connectors. They're USB-A, which I thought it had USB-C, but it is A. So I connected my iPhone here, and then it brings up CarPlay. It's got both wired and wireless CarPlay. So in here you got your standard kind of CarPlay stuff. Very easy to use, of course. I really like the center stack touchscreen in this Ferrari because on my previous SF90, all the CarPlay was in here, and you had to use these very hard to use capacitive controls to control that, and it's a terrible experience. So I think Ferrari should definitely move forward to including center stack screens and touch, so that it's just a lot easier to use. You have your built-in audio sources up here, and then you got your built-in navigation if you want to use that, and then clicking over here you go to your climate controls. So it's pretty easy to use. You got your automatic, your fan speeds, and so forth like that. Continuing down the center stack, here's our reverse button, here's our automatic, and down here is for manual shifting. Here's our power start for launch control. And then over here we have our top down button to put the top down, and this right here activates a kind of rear drop down windscreen, or drop up like that. So when the top's down, I guess you'll get less wind noise with that. To put it back down, I kept pressing the button. It didn't go down automatically. It's actually on hydraulics, and you just kind of push it down like that. Underneath the center stack here, you have a spot for, I don't know what that's for, maybe some papers. And then down here, there's an actual wireless charging pad for your phone. Now behind the steering wheel, you got your shift paddles down over here and up for here. To drive the Ferrari, you put your foot on the brake, and that's how you get into first gear. There is no park button. There is a reverse when you press down here. If you want to go into neutral, you can pull both paddles at the same time. Now, I do find it a little odd that when you have this nice touchscreen, which you could do a lot of things with, it leaves out a lot of the settings for the car. They keep that in this center instrument cluster using this system here, where you have to kind of cycle through. So if you want your vehicle settings, you gotta press there and go down and then hit the back button right here. And you know, this could be so much easier on a big touchscreen over here. I'm not sure why they wouldn't move that over. All right, enough talk. Let's see what the Roma Spider's about. We're gonna take it down the Pacific Coast Highway for a spin. The V8 twin turbo definitely has some power. I'm kind of surprised it spins. First and second gear, sound is pretty good actually once the valves open up. I gotta say, if you didn't know you were in a Ferrari, it is so comfortable to drive around the streets of LA here. I mean, it just handles all these bumps and, you know, potholes and everything super well. And it even has a bumpy suspension mode down here, so if you press that, it goes into bumpy road mode, which should soften it up even more. The additional wind deflector that pops up and covers the rear seat seems to do a pretty good job of keeping the wind and buffeting out of the car as well. With the windows down, I mean, it is a pretty amazing day out here. We're like 60 degrees out here in sunny California. I'm gonna roll up the windows just to help out the audio a little bit. The Roma's got to be one of the perfect cars out here for California, driving around these seaside highways, Pacific Coast Highway. Super compliant, just putzing around town. But when you get on it, this car actually moves. I'm pretty curious to see what the performance stats would be. I don't have my draggy with me, and since this is an inventory car with Marshall Goldman, I'm not going to do launch control or beat up on it because this is going to one of our good customers. This is probably one of the better integrations of CarPlay I've seen in a Ferrari because you actually get a touchscreen center control right down here. So, you know, my SF90 would put the CarPlay down here in the middle, and you had to mess around with these haptic controls, and it was just like, it's kind of a disaster from a UI perspective and just ease of driving around town. So I think Ferrari should move forward with a lot of these center screens like this one has with the touchscreen and make it easier to use. One thing I will note is, I don't know why a lot of exotic car manufacturers are going this route. There's no volume button in this car either. So it's super annoying. You have to kind of click on the top button right here to adjust the volume. I guess you get used to it after a while, but I mean, it can't be that hard to throw a volume button in somewhere. Now this car also has a host of driver assistance features. You can hear that kind of rumbling noise right now, and that's because it's got lane keep assist. And the lanes here on Pacific Coast Highway are super, super narrow, so it's kind of alerting me a lot here. But it's also got blind spot monitoring, so if there's someone in my blind spot and I press the turn signal, it gives me an immediate notification that someone's there, so that's kind of nice to have. It also lights up on the side view mirror here that someone's in your blind spot. Now we're on our way to Malibu here, and they've reduced the speed limit down because of all the fire damage. It's crazy to see how much was wiped out down here. It's just insane. Like entire coastline houses and neighborhoods are just completely gone, and a lot of it's just been knocked down, so you can actually see the ocean a little better. I mean, it's just lighting up the tires. I'm kind of surprised the car with around 600 horsepower can do that. I guess I'm kind of used to my all-wheel drive cars where you just stab it and go. Now we could put it in manual mode here, so we have to activate the paddles. It's a lot more fun to drive using the paddles for sure. But you can see, just, I don't know what kind of tires they put on here, but this thing's spicy. We're in actually race mode right now. Look at the views out here. I'm on the Pacific Coast Highway, pretty insane. Little bit of pops and crackles. Not very easy to hear. Got some good highway pulling power for sure once it gets through this spinning. Sitting in typical LA traffic, car drives like just any other car, which is nice. You don't get any weird, quirky, exotic car things that are happening where it's kind of bucking or it doesn't like to go slow. This car drives just like any other normal car when you're not getting on it. So it might be the perfect, comfortable Ferrari for California with the top down and the great weather, even when you're sitting in this kind of crazy traffic. All right, so that's a wrap of my time with the Roma Spider. This car is available here at Marshall Goldman, Beverly Hills. I gotta say, the Roma Spider is probably the perfect Ferrari for Los Angeles. Super comfortable, put it in comfort mode, shifts for you, sit in that traffic, no problem. And you wanna drop the top and head down the Pacific Coast Highway, down to Malibu, it is a pretty incredible car to have. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up, helps if you're in the channel, and more on me and Marshall Goldman coming soon.